Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer Dog? We're doing the pregame show here live from the Blue Wire Studios at the Wynn in Las Vegas. Football is here. It's official. Thursday night kickoff.
I mean, it's here. We've done this for months. We've talked about this day for months. It's here. We got to start off with a little all rise Thursday night style. Let's go, Bucks.
Yes.
Down with the Cowboys. Sorry to tease the show or to give away the show.
Not to step over all over the show, but we, of course, are on the Bucks laying 8.5. We gave it out early in the season when these win bet lines first came out. We said take the Bucks at -6, take the Bucks at 6.5, 8.5, even up to 9. I still feel confident about the Bucks. Super Bowl winner, 6-1 against the spread opening night. I feel that trend is going to continue. I'm worried, if I'm a Cowboys fan, about the offensive line, about Zach Martin not being there, about Dakota Rain, a.k.a. Dak, coming off that ankle injury and the lat injury. It really limited him in the preseason, off-season training camp. He got surgery twice. That's why we're fading the Cowboys, and we never pick the Cowboys because the Cowboys suck. Go Birds. Now, we are going to be hitting on a ton of prop bets here, all available over at winbet.com. Make sure you download the WinBet app. Live in Arizona now as well. We got a risk-free bet up to $1,000 live in-game wagering, player props, parlays. They got it all, so make sure you download the WinBet app or just head to winbet.com to get started there. Kramer, we're sitting on a Giants prop sheet, and if you guys have props you have questions on, feel free to hit us up in the YouTube chat. We'll get those answered for you as well as we count things down to kickoff. You still have time. If you've been procrastinating, putting in your picks for the NFL, your shot at winning $100,000 on the SGPN app. Download the app, enter those picks in. The Thursday night game is a part of the contest, so if you don't get your Thursday night pick in, you cannot win because you have to go undefeated. So download the app, get it in. Let's go. Kramer, here's one that jumped out at me right away. First quarter wagering, they have the Cowboys, Bucks. Bucks is a 3-point favorite. Total sitting at 10. I would not be surprised if this game gets off to a little bit of a slow start. I like under 10 here for the first quarter total. Any thoughts on the first quarter?
Oh, I mean, I like your theory of this starting slow. I worry that we talked about it all last year. This defense, it didn't get any better. I don't think we're going to see this defense come out and be world beaters. And if anything, I expect the Cowboys to take some shots early, both teams really. So I see your angle. I'm not looking to get involved in the total, as you know, Sean.
Wow,
I'm not a total guy. So I don't want to. I know how to stay in my lane, but. I mean, it's a big total for the first quarter.
Yes. Anything in general, and I think we got in this trend in Madden Mayhem, but any sort of first quarter total that's 10.5, I'm locking the under. I think even 10 here makes sense to take the under. I think the matchup of the Bucs defense against that Dallas offensive line is really going to slow things down. Overall the total sitting at 52 over at the Win. I would go under here. Don't have a strong play on the total. But the first quarter total, I think, is a fun one to get down on. What about some of these touchdown props, Ryan, or first touchdown? I assume we're both going to take Bucks first touchdown, -165 versus the Cowboys first touchdown at +135.
I don't mind that. But if can we talk about player first touchdown?
Oh, sure. Let's get to that.
I feel like that's what people really want to bet on. And honestly, like, this is a game where, back to the grind, Sean. For years, I put out that props column. And one of the things one of the ways you can make money betting props is building a portfolio. And it's really around red zone targets. Now, you can argue the Cowboys, it's a trickier slate because the Dak didn't play much last year, so the numbers from last year might not be that meaningful. So starting with the Cowboys, I'm going to take a quarter unit. And again, you want to build this portfolio. So I'm using quarter units right now, Sean. I'm going to take Schultz, the tight end, because I do think that could be an option for Dak around the red zone. We've seen him go to the tight end before.
25-1.
25-1. And then the second one I'm going to go to is just kind of fading the noise around the Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke Elliott being the favorite. I'm going to take Gallup at 15-1. I think he was utilized around the red zone decently last year. And honestly, like there's enough hype about it. They're going to draw attention, Cooper and CeeDee Lamb on the outside. So, and then to the Bucks, where I'm going to take. So I've done a half unit so far.
Yeah.
For the Bucks, I'm going through a half unit each for 3. I do think they're going to be the first ones to score. Here's the nugget, Sean. Gronk and Evans totaled 42 red zone targets for 14 touchdowns last year. The rest of the team had 57 targets and 14 touchdowns. What does that tell me to do? Smash Evans. What's the price? 6-1?
Yeah, I'm seeing on the sheet 5-1, but you'll have to check the app to see what it's at now.
I then take Gronk, the other guy in that equation, who is 12-1. And then the last guy I'm going to go a little roommate action here. Antonio Brown, who saw a decent amount of red zone targets in limited time at 9-1. So I've built a 2-unit portfolio. 5 players exposure to, so it's a little bit like horse racing. And what's Bowser say? The horse bets?
Yes, I am. I'm with you on Gronk. We saw the Gronk narrative in the Super Bowl. Love Gronk to get the first touchdown at 12-1. Get in on that. And I'm with you on Antonio Brown. I'm seeing 12-1 right now on the sheet. We'll see things where they're at live. But Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, I, of course, am not wagering any money on the Dallas Cowboys. Not going to touch them. But Gronk and Antonio Brown, and clearly Brady plays favorites. I like the Evans angle, but the price is just so low, 5-1, 6-1, whatever you're getting it at. It's not worth it for me rolling the dice as far as first touchdown there. So give me some Gronk, give me some Antonio Brown. As far as who else do you like player-wise? I know a guy, my cousin just hit me up.
You know a guy?
I know a guy, my cousin, shout out to Rob if you're watching.
Nice.
He just hit me up, sent me his DFS lineup. What am I doing wrong? What do I need to add? Who do I need to put in my list? He had Amari Cooper, which, again, I'm fading Cooper.
Does he not listen to the podcast, Sean?
Admittedly, as an anti-Cowboys guy, I think the one receiver that really is going to have a good game is CeeDee Lamb. I think that's the matchup they're going to use, and I think he has the big game of the Cowboys receiver. I'm not high on Cooper. He was dealing with injury stuff all preseason as well, and probably didn't get back to where he should be with Dak and getting on the same page. So I'm fading Cooper. I'm riding CeeDee Lamb. And another guy, he's a deep fantasy sleeper, but Giovanni Bernard, I think, is really a fun guy to throw in maybe your captain seat, put him in your DFS lineup, and even look to some of these player props, depending, again, where you're getting down on these, but you can look at his receiving yards and rush yards combined. His receiving yards are 13.5. I like over on that. And his rush yards are, if you can find it, I'm seeing like 9.5 on his rush yards. So I like over on both of those. Even if you want to get crazy, bet over on both of those, and even his rushing and receiving yards go over on that as well. Again, it is the NFL. It's opening night. The combined is much higher than those individually, so maybe there's not much value in that. But I'm all over Giovanni Bernard having a big game fantasy-wise.
He's a fun play in DFS. In the captain seat, he's only $2,000, Sean, so only $3,000 in the captain seat. It lets you fill up a lineup that has maybe Brady, Godwin, and Evans. So you can really do some fun stuff there. Bernard's going to be Bernard is one of the guys you circle where it's like,
and he could be interesting. We didn't, and I don't see him on the sheet, but he could be interesting as first touchdown. He might be in the field. I wouldn't play the field, but if you can find him on a long shot, a 25 to, or it's probably like 30 or 40-1 Giovanni Bernard first touchdown. So if you can find one of those, I do like that as well.
Yeah, and shout out to the chat, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Someone feeling the Cowboys +9 and under 52, Sean. Already got to shove someone in a locker. Earlier, some people asking why Schultz over Jarwin. I know Schultz had a little bit of an injury. I think Jarwin's he's coming back from a serious injury, and I doubt he gets the full workload. So I'm assuming Schultz will be in there, and it's more of just a dart throw. I don't, both of those guys are certainly likely, but I'll take Schultz. Sean, you mentioned Bernard. I think you want to play any Bernard prop over.
Yeah. Because
what I was going to get to is I think
people don't realize that he is going to have he's going to be involved in the game plan from what I've heard and what I've seen.
And I think he could be a guy. I mean, he's probably available in a lot of fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
Could he be the highest or the most valuable Tampa Bay running back this this season? Absolutely. And
if you're in full point PPR, I think Giovanni Bernard could have a bigger fantasy ceiling a season than even Ronald Jones. We know Brady likes to throw it to the running back. The guy's not getting any younger. They brought him in. And just follow the narrative. The people that Brady has requested in have been fantasy viable, whether it's Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, and now Giovanni Bernard. He is steering the pirate ship down there in Tampa Bay.
It's all about chemistry. If Brady feels like he has chemistry with a guy, maybe he respects the fact that Giovanni Bernard was driving a minivan when he was in the NFL. That's not very Tom Brady, but maybe he respects that. Who knows? Yeah, no, I love. I've gotten a lot of Bernard. If you can find his catch prop, Sean, there are 1.5s and 2.5s in the wild. That's 1.5. I'm definitely looking to get over. Some other stuff we should hit on, Sean. One of the props on the sheet: Tom Brady over 2.5 passing touchdowns plus 120.
Yeah, I don't like that.
This Dallas secondary, don't overthink it. This Dallas secondary is bad. Tom Brady is going to come out slinging.
Well,
he knows how many yards he needs to get to break the record in New England. So
that's a good point.
He needs a hot start. I'm going to take this. I think I have 2 overs on my card. This is one of them. So give me the over on Tom Brady 2.5 touchdown. Plus 120. It's too juicy.
Alan Cooley in the chat, and shout out to the cool man there. He wants to know CeeDee Lamb over 5.5 receptions since they will be playing from behind.
Sean,
that's probably the only Cowboys over I can sign off on is CeeDee Lamb related one. So yeah, I'm on it.
Is he looking over my shoulder? That's the other over I have. I do think. I believe CeeDee Lamb will be a big part of the game plan. B, I just have a feeling the pass rush is going to be real, and they're going to have CeeDee Lamb running routes that are going to put him in position to be the hot route. I still think he's going to be deployed from the slot a lot, and I think to the point, I think they could be down 2 touchdowns. And while maybe you go yardage, but it just feels like I would be shocked if CeeDee Lamb doesn't end up with 6 catches.
Will Ben DiNucci see a snap in this game, Ryan? No, actually, I think Ben DiNucci is no longer on the team. But will we see?
Practice squad.
Yeah, I think Gilbert is now the backup quarterback. Quick sidebar: why were they not involved in the Gardner Minshew? And it turns out, I was wondering, why would they not go after Gardner Minshew? Gardner Minshew didn't want to be on the Cowboys. I mean, come on, you got to love that out of Gardner Minshew.
He's not going to waive the no trade clause for the Cowboys.
This is one we gave out for one of our Prize Picks lineup. Check them out, prizepicks.com. Promo code SGP, 100% deposit bonus. Dak Prescott rushing yards. It's sitting at 12.5. I'm seeing right now. Give me the under. Dak doesn't run the ball a ton to begin with, and now he's coming off that ankle injury. I don't think he's going to be scrambling much. I just don't see that narrative. And that Tampa Bay defensive line is fierce. They have Levante David at linebacker. I just don't. The Bucs aren't a team your quarterback is going to run against a lot, especially if you're coming off a crazy injury.
Yeah, I think that's the narrative. And maybe it felt like a chalky narrative, but this line has been pushed north, Sean. It's there's 14.5s, 15.5s, even 16.5s out there. So I don't think it's as chalky as I thought it was going to be. To think that Dak won't run the ball because as we've now learned, Sean, 2 surgeries, didn't have feeling in his foot, very serious stuff, the kind of stuff that it takes some sort of physical reps to get over the mental hill of my leg's okay, my arm's okay, everything's okay. And so again, could he have a game where he throws for 300 yards? Yeah, I wouldn't look to fade him in the passing game. But I just don't think he's going to be looking to run the ball. I love that.
This is another one straight off the win sheet here. Will Tom Brady throw an interception? No, minus 130. I think he's going to come in, play a really clean, crisp, Tom Brady-like game. I don't think they're going to be taking a ton of deep shots. It's just going to be easy stuff that he can get the receivers involved, get some yards after the catch. I think they'll be able to get separation. I like him with extra time to prepare, and Bruce Arians against the new Cowboys defense that's just trying to figure it out.
Sean, you're not worried about Dan Quinn?
Yeah.
They hired Dan Quinn. The defense is going to be all right. You saw those Atlanta defenses for the last couple of years. World beaters. I don't get the case. Sean, I went back and took more Cowboys under season win total this morning.
Yeah. Because why not? And what were you getting the under on, Ryan?
9. 9 plus odds.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting plus odds at 9, that is you should be all over that. Kramer, what other items here are jumping out at you on the prop sheet?
Well, I mean, we hit on so many of the good ones. People do always want to hear what I have to say about the kicking game. As a kicking prop specialist, I would probably go under. I don't like the minus 140. I wonder what the updated line is, but it doesn't feel like a game that's going to have a lot of field goals. I mean, I don't see the Bucs being stopped by this Cowboys defense. So I'd probably fade that one. And in general, that's kind of a PSA. You want to generally take those unders. Those props don't come in as much as it seems like they would. I mean, honestly, last team to score, Cowboys plus 120. That's interesting. Kind of falls into our narrative that it could be a blowout. I just will. Here's one that we should talk about. Will Zeke score a touchdown?
Will Zeke score a touchdown?
I think Zeke gets fed. I think Zeke is in such a happy mood with rain. They're going to find.
I think. I mean, again, this is priced at yes minus 110, no minus 120. I'm not taking the no at minus 120, but even the yes, that price, these even money touchdown scoring props, I'm not really on board with any of these. Like, none of these prices to me, I'm running to the book to get down on.
I am. Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I'm smashing.
Mike Evans, yes, at minus 120.
Oh, it's minus 120 now. All right, I got down at even money. I'm still going minus 120. I just think he is such a threat against a depleted secondary that is not going to – struggles to cover large physical receivers. And once again, reminder, this guy made Johnny Manziel look so good. He got drafted into the National Football League in the first round.
Yeah.
He played for a league. That is
pretty crazy.
He played for a league this spring where you could call his play. That's how good Mike Evans is.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel is now being controlled by his football career is being crowdsourced.
He's a human
Mike
android.
Evans is dominating in the NFL. Kramer, I'm going to bring one of these back. The DGens only prop bets, which we had a tradition of giving them out on the primetime games. I stumbled across one that is pretty fun. Now, Ronald Jones, his normal rushing total is probably at 50 yards. Again, I still think you go Giovanni Bernard, but this prop I'm about to give out, it's essentially a parlay of prop bets. Hear me out, Ryan.
I'm listening.
Tom Brady, 370-plus passing yards, yes. Ronald Jones to have 90-plus rushing yards, yes. Antonio Brown to have 130-plus receiving yards, and Tampa Bay scores over 31 points. All four of those things happen, 60-1. LFG. Again, anything to fade the Cowboys defense in this situation.
Put some pocket change on that.
It's 60-1 for a reason. Again, I shouldn't have to even say that. You know it's a DGens only prop bet, but man, 60-1, I'm on board.
You know that someone's going to come after you and tell you it was a horrible pick.
That is not great return on value. It's entertaining, though. If he starts getting close, and we had a couple close calls on some of these last year. I think Darnell Mooney was involved in a couple. My boy Bobby Tunyon, I think, got really close because I gave out Robert Tunyon 2 touchdowns at 100 yards receiving. He had 3 touchdowns and 98 yards receiving, but that one was like 50-1. So
that's heartbreaking.
Parlaying some player props, having some fun. It's Thursday night kickoff for the National Football League. Make sure you download the SGPN app. Get those picks in for your chance to win $100,000. We're near minutes away from locking. Make sure you get your fantasy lineups good to go. I know Kramer, we're almost like commercial airline pilots with a checklist we have to go through. Set lineup, enter picks, and enter the picks into the Odds Crowd contest as well. So many free contests, so many free picks.
Sean, my checklist has 26 things on it. That's the process throughout the week of contest submission, pick submission, expert, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's just the world.
Fantasy rankings.
Is it even fun anymore, Sean? Is it football?
I know. People are not going to, we get no sympathy points that this is our job. And
as Colby says,
we
Sean,
do sports.
We do sports.
Got some more questions in the chat. CJ wanting to know, O.J. Howard, first touchdown. 18-1, I'm seeing. Not bad. But again, I think the pricing to me is so close to Gronk's price, and he clearly favors Gronk. I think Gronk's still going to get most of the red zone looks. So I would go Gronk over O.J. Howard.
Yes.
If you can get him at maybe 30-1, 40-1, then I would consider it. But at the price I'm seeing, I think you're just better off going with Gronk because it's close process. It's close price wise.
Are we getting involved in a double result? Bucks first half, Bucks full game.
Yeah, and I think that prop. What do you see the price on that, Kramer?
I can pull it up. I'm sure we can find it somewhere. Well, let's see. If I was going to price this, I mean, what's the money line for the game? 420.
Yeah.
No pun intended. I think this. I mean, this prop is probably a minus 200. I would guess.
I think I was seeing like minus 150 somewhere, and maybe I'm crazy, but.
Well, the number's also been moving hot and heavy.
It is a lot of action.
Well, people, and I was going to lead the show with this, but people are smart. They understand how it works. And like we said on the Week 1 pick show, go subscribe to the podcast if you're not. What happens to teams after they win the Super Bowl?
They come out, spread.
They win the game. So the money line, that's a mega whale, 5-star play of the day. But only 3 times have the Super Bowl winners lost this millennial. And then when you look at against the spread, it's 13-6-2. This doesn't strike me as a situation where Humpty Dumpty, a.k.a. Mike McCarthy, is going to have this Cowboys team rolling. And Jerry Jones had to get in the locker room and give a motivational speech that was creepy.
The visual of Jerry Jones, a.k.a. the King, and all of his men trying to put Humpty Dumpty, a.k.a. Mike McCarthy, back together again
Jake,
is an amazing visual.
Jake Paquin, if you are listening, the Humpty Dumpty, there's something
Mike McCarthy as Humpty Dumpty. If you could work on that Photoshop.
Being put back together by Zeke, Dak, and Jerry Jones. Yes.
That is an amazing, amazing visual. So Alan Cooley in the chat again, Ronald Jones over 48.5 rushing yards. His angle is that they're going to be up. They're going to be running the clock. I don't mind that. 48.5 feels reasonable. Again, I think Bernard is the guy you want to load up on props and dark horse catches.
Yeah.
But 48.5 feels somewhat reasonable for Ronald Jones as well. Can we get an over-under pick on the total? Kramer and I are not total experts, but I'm going under 52. This to me feels like it's like 28-10 game, 31-10. I just don't see Dallas being able to put up a ton of points. And it really comes down to not having Zach Martin, who Zeke himself said was their best player. He's going to be out. And that defensive line for the Tampa Bay Bucks is ferocious. Yeah. We saw what they did to Patrick Mahomes, a quarterback who is way more mobile than a Dak Prescott coming off a crazy injury. Now, maybe the Cowboys will be able to scheme something up to mitigate that pass rush, but I think that's going to be tough.
You think Humpty Dumpty scheming?
And I think you were actually on this, Ryan, even though it was a disgusting act, as Joe Buck would say. Maybe you do take Zeke over receiving yards as they like to get the screen game going, start checking it down to the running back.
Yeah, I think it was, somewhere between 16 and 20 yards. It just feels like he only needs a couple catches to get there. And again, I think they're going to feed him. You see the way McCarthy and Stephen Jones were talking about him. Oh, we're not going to play him, right? No, we don't play him. We don't play him in the preseason. So, yeah, I think that's a nice one. As far as my pick on the total, Sean, no one wants to bet the under. Give me the over. I'll give you – let's do some final score predictions, Sean.
Okay. I was circling it around. I'm going to give myself a little bit more wiggle room. I'm going to go 28-17. Bucks get it done.
Repeat that.
28-17. Tampa Bay Bucks win. They cover, and the under comes in.
Tom Brady is a man of a brand.
Yeah.
Tom Brady understands that he needs to get a hot start so he can break the all-time passing record in New England week 4. Tom Brady is 44 years old. The Bucks score 44 points, 44-14. Let's go.
Okay, yeah,
Blowout,
I can see that for sure.
You want to play the adjusted spread? Go for it. I'm all in. I saw I've seen some places that have it all the way up to minus 29.5. I would take it up to 29.5. That's where I'd stop taking.
And if you are thinking of betting Dallas, make sure you do it over at WynnBET. They have a triple the spread option. So instead of 8, it's 24 points you're getting with the Dallas Cowboys. I still like Tampa at 24.
Sean, I laid the 24 with Tampa on that one.
Yeah, maybe there's a reverse alt spread there on the WinBet app that you can check out because that's fun as well. So we gave you out first touchdown. We giving you out exact scores. Hit on a bunch of player prop bets. Make sure, still a couple minutes left before we lock the contest, and you no longer have a chance to win $100,000 courtesy of the SGPN app. Kramer, any final bets you want to give out to the folks?
I'm seeing it. T-minus 22 minutes and 58 seconds. You have 5 less minutes than that to get the contest entry in. 5:15 on the West Coast. It gets locked. That's that. We're gonna call it a day. And no more. One final prop.
Yes.
Give me the team total over for the Bucks. Over 30.5.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like that one as well. That is.
These games are like coronations. They've turned into these parties. And you think Dallas is going to go down into the humidity? We didn't even touch on that angle.
Yeah. No,
they're out hanging out in California in the dry heat. You think they're ready to that humidity?
We always like taking Florida home teams in September because of this very reason, the heat.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's a late kickoff. It's a night game, so maybe that mitigates it if you're a Cowboys fan or a Cowboys backer.
Sean, hilariously, as we sit here, the counter for showing me how many entries we have has a 69 in it. So
wow,
on
nice.
brand, D-Gens only. Welcome back to football season, people.
Welcome back to football. Indeed, last final prop bet I will give out. There will be a defensive touchdown in this game. Get on that. Nice. I'm trying to find a price for it. I'm sure you can find one. And if you can find that it will be Tampa Bay, I would lock that up. Probably what? Kramer, if you had a price at, what would you set the price at? 5-1, 6-1?
Sure, maybe more. For just Tampa to score the touchdown?
Just Tampa? That's probably what, 8-1, 10-1?
It would be, what, 280 for the game? Maybe 5-1.
Okay, we'll call it 5-1. Giving that out, plus 500. Tampa Bay scores a defensive touchdown. Man, we're just wrapping up NFL Week 1. Tune into our pregame show kicking off 9 a.m. Pacific on Sunday. Counting you down to the Sunday slate. And, of course, we're going to answer all your questions. You guys have fantasy questions, betting questions, whatever it is, feel free to send those in. Give us a follow on Twitter at Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the Sports Gambling Podcast and download that WinBet app if you haven't already. If you're in Arizona, tons of bonus opportunities for you there with the WinBet app. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Shout out to Blue Wire and the Win for having us. This place is beautiful.
Kramer, let it ride.